me, and that becomes the main idea of the passage. Yes, okay. So how do these questions look like? How do we identify TBQs or theme-based questions? We identify them somewhat like this. The very first question: which of the following most accurately states the main idea of the passage? Very directly, the passage has asked me, what is the main idea of the passage? Somebody is saying, I will only come and talk about the heroine. What should I do in such a situation? How should I react? That is a very personal opinion. But generally, most people will come and talk about the main idea, okay? You can talk about heroine also, but focus on the main idea. Otherwise, the person will find no use. All right. So the very first thing is, the question will ask you directly, what's the main idea of the passage? The second question in theme-based question could be, which of the following best states the central idea of the passage? Okay, so they can ask you the main idea, they can ask you the central idea, they can also ask you directly, what is the gist or what is the crux of the passage? Okay, what's the gist of the passage? What's the crux of the passage? The next question could be, which of the following is the principal topic of the passage? Now, what kind of principle is this? Not the school principle, principal, which means the main idea again. The principal idea, prime idea, central idea, main idea, that's all the same thing. So, which is the principal topic of the passage? There is no difference between central idea and main idea. They are the same things, okay? You can call it central idea. That's a very good question posed by her. Central idea or the main idea. These are the same things, my dear, same things, no difference, okay? The next kind of question from theme-based could be, sometimes they can give you 4 titles of the passage, okay? And then they will ask you, select the most suitable title from these 4 options. Which do you think can be the best title of the passage? Now, what is a title really? A title means, in few words, you are trying to describe the main idea of something. Okay. For example, if there is a book that you want to read, now obviously the name of the book has to match with the main idea of the book. Otherwise, how will you understand? For example, I take a book on dieting, although I never get successful. I always fail, but still, for show off, I take dieting books. Okay. I will do a good diet. Now, the name of the book itself will be Lose Weight in 1 Month or 101 Ways to Eat Healthy. So the name will tell me what's the main idea behind the book completely. Similarly, movie. The movies are also like that. The movie itself, like for example, in latest Bollywood movie has come Uchai. Okay, so this movie is about mountaineering. So Uchai word again means height. So we can relate the title to the movie, like Titanic. We know that Titanic is the name of the ship. So the whole movie is behind what happened with the ship Titanic, right? So the heading is always about the gist or the central idea of the movie or the book or whatever. So this itself means that if you know the central idea or the main noun, you can select the best title as well. So do remember, central idea, main idea, gist, crux, main theme. All these are the same things, which mean you are trying to find that one main point which the passage is talking about. Okay, am I clear now? And do remember, in every passage, there is just one main idea which is generally a noun. And then the others are all small supporting ideas which are not so important. They will always be, all of them will be related to the theme. But always there will be the best appropriate choice which best describes the theme. That's the beauty of CSAT RC. While no option is wrong. A lot of my friends initially, when I started taking the CSAT lectures, a lot of my friends used to message me or sometimes mail me and say that, ma'am, the problem is that I understood the passage, but all options look correct to me. So I always said, my dear one, all options will always be correct, because in CSAT, I'm always telling you from the beginning, all options can be correct. It's not about choosing the right option. Okay, let nobody tell you that in CSAT passage you can choose one right choice. There is no right choice. There is always the most logical and the most appropriate choice. And that is why all CSAT questions always ask you the same thing. Which is the most logical? Which is the most appropriate? Which is the main idea? Always they go like that, because it is about selecting the most logical one. I'm generally talking about 2014 onwards, okay? The best one, yes. So these will be the central theme-based questions. They will always ask you the main theme. Please see with me the screen once again, just have a look. They will either ask you the main idea, or they will ask you central idea, or they will ask you the gist or the crux, or they will ask you which is the principal topic or the main topic of the passage, or they will sometimes ask you which is the most appropriate heading for this passage. All right, now having done this, let's also quickly try to understand this central idea or TBQ based question through a sample question. So my dear ones, please have a look at the sample question. Please solve it for me. If you solve this, you will come to know what is exactly the central theme or the main idea. Okay, please have a look. Yes, 200 Years of Hypocrisy of Britishers, the book. The title says it all. It always does. Pardon me for the word. Okay, let's read the passage. The Holland Tunnel is a roadway. A roadway? It's a road. Under the Hudson River. Okay, so maybe the Hudson River is flowing like this. Okay, my drawing is really bad. I'm not MF Hussain or anything, just whatever. I'm just a rough diagram. Maybe the Hudson River is flowing like this. And under the Hudson River, we have made this Holland Tunnel. Okay, so it's a tunnel under the Hudson River. Okay, at one end of the tunnel is New York City. Okay, and on the other end of the tunnel is the New Jersey. All right, no problem. Which means the tunnel is in the US. Okay, almost 50,000 cars and trucks go through this tunnel every day. All right, that's the traffic. That broadly, this tunnel is carrying this much traffic and these many people from one end to the other. 50,000 daily vehicles. The distance is just about 1.5 miles. The entire distance is very small. It's just 1.5 miles really. Okay. Depending on the time of the day, the journey could be long or the journey could be short. Maybe if you're traveling early in the morning, you will take less time. Maybe you are traveling in the peak hours of the evening, you will take a longer time. So it all depends on when you choose to travel. So that's the passage for you. Okay, that's it. A very small passage. But the question is a theme-based question. What's the central idea of the passage? Okay, it could have also asked you what's the main idea of the passage, or what's the crux of the passage, or what is the gist of the passage, anything. A, what the Holland Tunnel is. Now, almost 57% of my students said the answer is A, but my problem is that 37% said that the answer is C. Okay, no problem. Let's see why the confusion. A, what the Holland Tunnel is. B, the length of the Holland Tunnel. C, what the Hudson River is like. And D, the connectivity between New York and New Jersey. All right. Now, before I tell you that which is the right answer, you already know, and why is it the right answer. Let me give you one small, very easy example. Now, kindly answer my question and listen to me super carefully. For example, my dear friends, I tell you, don't worry if you got it wrong, it's fine. I told you the more mistakes you make, the better you will, emerge out of the lecture. So don't worry. No, don't get disappointed. Just stay cheerful. Because when we study in a happy mode, we learn everything. When we study in a sad mode, we forget everything. Okay? There is a reason why you remember 10 years before Hollywood or Bollywood movie. You even know which dialogue came at what time. But books and chapters, we don't remember. That's why you have to be happy all the time. All right. So 37% people marked D, not C. Sorry. Small story, you have to tell me what is the main idea or what is the central to tell you. Please listen carefully. I have a red chair. I have a red chair. This chair is made up of plastic. gifted to me this chair on my last birthday. It's very comfortable to sit on. It is also made up of some kind of velvet fabric on the plastic. My friends also really admire the chair. It is so comfortable that I always do my school work when I sit on that chair. When I am not at home, I completely lock that chair up because I'm worried that my pet cat will come and sit on the chair and spoil it. Okay, the chair is very expensive and my father had ordered it and specially got it made for me. That's it. Now, what is the main point, or what's the main idea or central theme behind what I just told you? Yeah, you agree with me. The central idea is the red chair. Yeah, what's the chair? Absolutely. Why? Why is the central idea the chair? Why? The central idea is the chair because the chair here is the main idea or the main noun in question. While things like what is the color of the chair, how expensive is that chair, who gave me that chair, how comfortable is that chair, how do I use that chair, these are all supporting ideas or the adjectives and the verbs talking about and describing the chair. So they can never be the main idea. The main idea is the red chair. So if the main idea or the main noun here is the central chair, then why in this sample passage the main idea is not A? Why is it not A? Even in this passage, the main and the central idea continues to be the Holland Tunnel because we are talking about the tunnel here as a noun. The central thing, the central point of the passage, the central idea. The other things are all supporting adjectives. How long it is? 1.5 miles. How many people travel through it? 50,000. What does it connect? New York and New Jersey. How long it takes to travel? Depending on the time of the day. Where is it situated? Under the Hudson River. Now, all these are details about what? About the Holland Tunnel, which means the central idea and the main noun is the Holland Tunnel, my friends. Rest are all the adjectives or the supporting ideas which describe you. What is the Holland Tunnel? And therefore, absolutely the answer is A and not like B. That yes, the main idea, the main point this topic, this passage is trying to strike is what exactly is the Holland Tunnel. Okay, what is it? How is it? How does it look? What does it do? Are all secondary or supporting ideas. Now, yes, rest are all characteristics. So, which means rest are all supporting ideas. Okay, interesting question. Interesting question. What would be the passage if the idea was option number D? If the idea was option number D, then the passage could have been something like this. The connectivity between New York and New Jersey is a major problem because while New York is very commercial, it is mostly about office buildings and commercial spaces, it's very expensive to afford. That's why most people who work in New York, they prefer to live in New Jersey, which is at the suburb or suburban area near New York. That's one reason why most people find it very difficult to commute, and connectivity is a major problem that the government has to solve. And then sometimes the Holland Tunnel is also very useful. In that case, we could have said connectivity is the crux, but here it is not like that. Here the crux is the Holland Tunnel, while all other things, my friends, are about supporting details. I hope I'm clear to you. Yes, you should not overthink. Got it now? One more example. My dear friend, 1,000 examples are coming. We are just about to discuss the CSAT passages very soon, maybe 20 minutes from now. Okay, a lot of examples will come. So much I will make you practice previous year questions that you will get fed up. I don't want to see this lady again. She's like, she drills with CSAT. So don't worry. Okay, it's clear. No problem. No problem. Naresh, you put me in a situation now. Could we draw D as an inference? Nothing about inference-based questions now. Okay, you only know two types right now: passage-based and theme-based. Inference-based questions we are talking about now. Only then can I answer the question. I'm scared that what if I try to help you explain and I end up confusing you more? So just wait for 2-3 minutes. You cannot draw D as an inference if you ask me. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's a difficult question you asked for me. I will think. Okay. Fine. Thank you for all the sweet, supporting, and lovely comments. So special they mean to me, and so much they mean to me. No. D cannot be the title either. If you ask me, A will be the title also, because that's the central theme, right? Okay. Thank you. Then I'll keep coming again and again and keep torturing you with CSAT. Okay. Now, having said this, enough gossiping. I'm a very gossipy person. I'm telling you, 2 questions you will ask. I can talk to you for 2 hours about it. Throat is gone, but still that bad habit is not ready to go. Anyway, now, okay. Tea break. Good question. So that is up to you, my friends. It's your class. You're the boss. You will decide. Whatever the majority says. Whatever the majority says. 6 o'clock, no problem. 5:30 also no problem. 6, okay. Since the majority says 6, let's keep it 6. Okay, let's adjust with our friends also. 6. I'll talk about improving spoken and written English. I will not leave the lecture before that. I'll talk about it. Oh, thank you so much. A teacher is never good, you know. It's the students. Their response, their participation that makes a lecture or a teacher successful or not. Let me tell you that. Chalo, padho. Yes, good reminder. Enough talking. Now let's proceed. Okay. So once again, thanks for the lovely comments and beautiful participation. Now, having done the passage-based and the central theme-based question, let's now proceed, my friends, with the inference-based questions. Now, from here, we need to be slightly more serious and focused. And more than you, you are actually focused. I'm the one who gossips a lot. I'll also be a little more focused. So 6 o'clock, we have a lot of time. Let's finish inference-based. So now, one thing you do remember, that inference-based are actually the most tough questions that come in CSAT reading comprehension, the toughest ones actually. No wonder I was calling them monster or devil or whatever, but no matter how much you hate it, we have to do it. So another sad thing is that at least 60 to 70% of your CSAT paper, I mean RC segment, will be comprised of this only, inference-based questions only. A majority questions come from here. So we have to master this skill anyhow. But before understanding what are inference-based questions or what are IBQs, another very interesting point is that what is the art of making inference? You know, you can always tell a student that this is an inference-based question, but they can always ask you, what is inference? What do you mean by making inference? So let us understand what do we mean by making inference. Now here also, I'll give you a very small example. I'm telling you a story. Just try to understand and answer my question, okay? Please be careful and listen to me. If I tell you that it is very cloudy outside, it is very cloudy outside, and when I go out today, I will take my umbrella with me. What is that first word or the first idea that strikes your mind? Okay, very nice. Beautiful. Absolutely. A lot of people, the responses are raining in. Lovely, beautiful responses from my best of students. Yes, they say that it's rain. Either it will rain, or it is already raining, or it's about to rain. But whatever you say, but in everybody's mind, the word rain came from outside. Some are saying sun is not there. Some are saying I'm thinking of the weather forecast. Some are saying it might rain. Some is making a very beautiful diagram of a cloud. But whatever. The main thing is rain comes to your mind. Okay. Let me ask another question. Another story, small one. For example, if I tell you that this house is so messy, everything is spread here and there, and I can see some toys spread around in a packet of diapers. What is that first word that comes to your mind? Kid, children, dirtiness made by children, untidiness made by children. There's a baby, there's a devil, somebody say. Children can't be devil. So, irritating, it is irritating. But generally it is about, mismanaged. But why? What is that one, a direct conclusion that you are reaching at? Naughtiness of a baby, possibly, the mess made by a baby. So in the first case, it was like the rainfall that struck you. Why? Because obviously I'm not mental case. I don't know if I am, but believing that I'm normal, why will I take an umbrella outside if there is a cloud? Obviously because I'm scared that I'll get wet. No, if I'm normal, then I'm scared of the rainfall. Similarly, the thing is that if you see a house that's totally messed up here and there and things are strewn around, and then you see there's a pack of diapers and there's a pack of toys, you can actually reach a conclusion that yes, definitely. No, hygiene is something very different, my friend. Hygiene is about a different kind of cleanliness. Hygiene is when some place is very sanitized, it's not dirty, it's not infectious. But messy and untidy is a different thing. It means it can be very clean, hygienic, but still things are misplaced, unorderly, disorderly. So we are seeing that kind of a thing where that some kind of child could be responsible, or some baby could be responsible for making up the mess really here. So, it can be for preventing sunburn, but generally that much nobody thinks that, okay, even if it's cloudy, what if UV radiation is there? What if I'll take my umbrella? And even with umbrella, you can get a sunburn because you know that UV radiation can penetrate even under the umbrella. So if that's scientific you want to get, then you have to be even more scientific. On a very plain note, it's about rain and it's about the baby. That's what a majority believes. So when you understood the word rain and when you understood the word baby, then what have you done here exactly? What is the process that you followed to reach the conclusion rain and baby? Reach the conclusion rain and baby? Thinking, all right. What kind of thinking? Now, this is known as, yes, reasoning, analyzing, and this itself is known as inference making actually. So what is inference making? When you see certain evidences in front of you, okay, when you see certain proofs, yes, connecting the dots, deduction, when you see certain evidences or proofs in front of you, and by using those evidences you try to reach upon a conclusion, that is the process of inference making. So you have to understand that for making inference you have to actually behave like a detective. That's the job of a detective also. He or she will see the evidences and then he will connect the dots or she will connect the dots to each other and then try to reach an inference or then try to find what is going on. And this exactly is the art of making inference, that's what we do. And in CSAT exam, you actually have to behave like a detective. Yeah, like Sherlock Holmes, you have to behave like that. Because all the passages here, as I said, 60 to 70% questions are based on inference. They are IBQs, which means the passage will be only about evidence. The be about the will be about certain of you can say evidences, proofs, or certain situations that shall be presented in front of you, and based on these three you have to do some reasoning and